All right, welcome to another video from the chart reader. So today we are going to look at the major markets, and you can kind of already see it on QQQ. It definitely was not a good day today. On the last video, I spent about 7 minutes talking about this 3 candle setup, how it was a bad thing, and you can see that kind of manifest today, right? So with that, before I get into the details, let's say, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to look at the daily and the weekly to see what's setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. And then if I zoom out just a little bit, I'm sure we'll see one. There we go. I draw manually these horizontal support and resistance lines, okay? Once we're done up here, we will use the MACD, the RSI, and now volume as our lower indicators, okay? Again, 80% is up here, 20% is down here. Just because I added a new one doesn't change that fact, okay? Most of the heavy lifting really does happen up here, okay? So let's get into the details. Again, I'm not going to talk about it because I will go on a deep tangent on it, and I really don't want to do that again. But this 3 candle setup, I spent about 7 minutes easily talking about it last time. I said it was bad, and you can see it here. Really, it's bad for 2 reasons. Look, I always say these should not be moving above 1%. They shouldn't even be close to 1%. They're generally a 0.5% up, 0.5% down, call it a day, right? This is a big number, and I know it doesn't look like it, but just keep that in mind whenever we're talking about these majors, right? From there, look, what happened? We try to break the 100. We don't get good confirmation. We try to break the 100, definitely get very bad confirmation. We actually lose the 8. Now, I realize we're 1, 2, 3 days over the 100 technically, but again, if you watch the video, you know this was not good enough for me to believe we broke the 100, and clearly we saw that today. So this happened across, I think, everyone except the Russell. So I'm really curious to see how the Russell played out. From there, look, we're under the 8, right? I'm hoping tomorrow is a good day, but look, overall, 1, 2, 3, 4 of our 5 moving averages are right here. And what is this? I hope you said it already, right? This is a horizontal cluster of moving averages, right? That's where we're at. And I remember when I zoom out, yeah, the 200 is not far away, right? So even breaking the 100, you're still gonna have to battle the 200 not too far from now. But I always say, look, I do not like trading individual stocks in here. Anything can happen on a cluster, you know. I like that the 8 is moving up. I like that the 200 is moving up. But yeah, we just lost the 8 today, and that's not a good thing, right? So assuming tomorrow is not a good day as well, we might be coming here and here, right? Looking at the weekly, look, this was looking like a very good weekly actually, and we did get over the 20. Look, it's Monday, right? Hopefully the next couple days are all right. Even if tomorrow's bad, hopefully the next couple days after that kind of save it, right? But right now, I need to close right here. I need to get, I mean, let's just call it, how much lower can we go? No, we need to go right here. Look, 293.20, okay? If we can just clear a little distance, let's get over the candle, let's get over the line, I'll be real happy. You know what I mean? I don't want to just sit on it or just over it, right? Because this is a nice candle. I'm hoping we get a nice little follow through. But Monday, not looking good on the weekly volume, right? So we do want more people to start buying in the next couple days, right? This is still a little too horizontal to count. I like the MACD. I mean, I do. It's a little negative, but it is not bad. But again, it's all going to be cracking that 20, right? So that is what QQQ looked like. So coming over to NASDAQ itself. So one thing I said this on one of my chats. The QQQ, which again really should be mimicking NASDAQ, actually broke the 100. Again, not good enough for me to feel good. I said Monday wasn't going to look great here potentially, and like that you saw it, right? I'm still hopeful the week's all right, but yeah, this always sets up bad. However, when you look at Comp Q, oh, nope, I did that wrong. Comp Q. This did that same 3, which again was bad, and we still had this, but it never actually got over the 100. Okay, so again, we definitely did not even get over the 100 on the NASDAQ. The QQQ was a bad fail break, right? And then really they're both now on the same page being just under the 8, right? And again, this is also in that cluster of 4 going across. And if we lose the 50 here, we're going back under the death line, which is not where we want to be, right? So hopefully tomorrow is not a bad confirmation day and brings us down to the 20. That is not what we want to see. But overall, what does this look like? Again, same thing, right? It looks, and I'll say this. Let me go to QQQ one more time. QQQ's actually gotten over the 200, right? It broke with two lines and had a couple decent follow through, and these are all weeks, right? So NASDAQ, however, again, just a little bit different, right? You can see it hasn't quite gotten over, and it's a little tighter, right? So just a little food for thought on they're trading differently, and they shouldn't be, right? I don't like anomalies. This isn't the place where things shouldn't be doing differently. That's not how it works for us, right? So not looking too good overall. Again, I was more bullish on Friday, right? I was hoping Monday started well, and we trended up. I did say if silly things happen Monday, Tuesday, I'd be cautious. So, I'm going in with caution, obviously, since we lost the 8 especially, right? So be careful a little bit with NASDAQ. So let's come to SPY. We're going to start with the ETF of the SP 500. Okay, look, exact same thing, right? Same 3-candle pattern, and then boom. The one bad thing is this one actually lost 2 lines, right? So this lost the 200 as well as the 8. That really means 2 things, right? It's the same thing as if it happened inversely and we broke up. Either this is going to be really big confirmation, and we might come as low as the 100 tomorrow on the SPY, pretty much. You could almost round it down to the 390, right? Give or take. 392 is this line, right? Or, hey, maybe it won't be too hard. Maybe we'll go a little horizontal and make these two a 2-line cluster. Or hopefully we'll go up, right? Right now, again, it seems negative, right? That's not a great RSI. It's still a little tight, so I'm kind of ignoring this. MACD, I'm not liking that. That's a little unsettling. I'm glad we're still at a positive number, but that's a pretty hard drop. And then again, we've seen it where if you bounce up on the 200, it's a beautiful thing. If we bounce down on the 200, that could be a devastating thing, right? So I would be very worried if I lost 390, because from there 380 just screams, right? Because really all 5 lines are right here. Right now, this is our horizontal cluster. We lose this, we come down here, right? And then we just make it that much bigger. And that's not really what we like, right? We want to be out of the cluster and go up. Or I'll be honest with you, even lose this cluster, go down, and then just move into the inverses, right? So different strategies, right? Again, all the weeklies have been looking good, right? This one got the good bounce up from the 200 that we talked about, right? One nice bounce gives you a number of weeks, looking at almost a month, actually, more than a month, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1 month, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a 2-month bounce, and it's a good one, right? The worst thing we would want to see is that level of a bounce down on the daily, right? We don't want to see however many candles. I think that was 8 candles up. I would hate to see bounce down 8 candles down. That'd be real ugly, right? So be careful here again, right? I think the Monday rejection is not good. And look, the hope here was to battle this, then this, versus breaking it as a cluster, right? And the weekly moves a little slower, but yeah, I don't like that we got to at least test the 50, okay? Because again, just zooming back out, once we lost the 50 here, this never actually even touched it. We still haven't tested the 50 technically, right? We got really, really close, but really, really close does not count in this game, right? Look, this is obviously a golden cross, the smaller line crossed up. That's supposed to be a bullish thing. However, I'm a little disheartened still, right? Early in the week, hopefully the next couple days are good. Maybe even Tuesday is so bad it comes down here, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we bounce up, right? There's a couple ways it could still play out, right? I was really hoping Monday kept that uptrend going. So let's see how it is. But yeah, I have to be cautious now. There's nothing to it, right? SPX, which is the standard of the SP 500 itself. Exact same candle here, right? Exact same 3-day, which was not good. Proves it again. We lose 2 lines, so either we're going to get strong confirmation that it's bad, or we're going to go horizontal here a little bit. We might go up again. Hey, you never know, but I think I'm a little pessimistic, just kind of, right? We've seen 4 tickers at this point. None of them are really that great. Again, same golden cross that we saw with the SPY, but it's look, I'm hoping the week turns around. It's still it's literally as early as it gets, right? So we'll a little more hoping than we want to do, right? But again, I'm still pessimistic. Best hope would be a bounce either off the 20 or off the 100, right? But it doesn't seem good. But hopefully the week recovers. That is going to be really important. So IWM, again, this was the only one that didn't do it. Oh, shit. And it was even worse than the rest. Damn, look at that. But again, what I liked here was that this candle at least was able to get over the big one. That was supposed to be a good thing. Unfortunately, this thing just kind of came down with the rest of the markets. And again, I felt that the Russell was the strongest going in. So the fact that it actually did horrible has me that much more pessimistic about the market overall. Real ugly MACD and RSI combination, right? I don't like seeing that at all, right? And look, with the volume, I probably should have said this a lot earlier. When I added this, it automatically gave me the average over the last 50 days, right? So at this point, the 50 days before it was trading this high. You can see that we haven't had consistent overbuying in a long time. And that's what does a stock well. Volume is king, right? That was one of my golden rules of trading. And you want to be consistently over that line, which really just says people just want to keep buying and buying. They're buying more than they have been in the last 50 days. Clearly, they're buying much less over the last 50 days. And you can see they've actually started to lower the line a little bit. We were pretty much on this horizontal line. Now we're definitely under it, right? So that average is getting lower and lower, which means people are afraid to buy the Russell is what that means, right? You don't want that. And I should have said that across all of them, right? But like, let's just look at QQQ. Again, the line's up here, but now you can see it's starting to come down a little bit. Look at how low these volume points were, right? That's obviously going to make it. Over the last 50 some days, people are getting afraid to buy QQQ. That's not good. The SPY, right? This one's ETF. Again, the line was this high at one point. We're coming down again, right? People are getting scared to put their money in the SPY. That's not a good thing. IWM is where we were just sitting and noticed that, right? So again, we lose 3 lines. I'm expecting good confirmation that shows that. So, I mean, honestly, this is probably going to lose. I mean, yeah, man, this is not good. Because again, if this line is lost, that's what my guess was. This line is pretty much on the 100, right? And from there's just gap down till about here, which is under the 50. So I mean, if you lose the 100 on the Russell, there's almost no reason to believe it's not going to come almost straight to the 50. In all honesty, be as optimistic as I was on Friday or Saturday or Sunday, whenever I made that last video over the weekend or since the last day of trading, I'm that much scared right now because we lost all 3. Everyone lost at least 1 or 2. And again, everyone is starting to gain less volume on average, which is not good. You don't want people to be scared to put their money in the market. That's a horrible sentence. Horrible sentence. The last of the ETFs, and interesting, right? Because this one's been good. That's what I wanted to see. I couldn't tell. I honestly couldn't, but I guess you can see it here. This one should be going up, right? And again, you see how many more. Look at oh, nice. I swear I didn't know this was going to happen, but I'm glad it did, right? The uptrend from DIA. Really, and look, obviously RSI is green over red, MACD looks good, there's a bunch of different things, but volume is king and you see it here. If people are buying more than the last 50 days, that's good. That means people want this, right? And just as the opposite did, it's bringing this line up, and it's actually a little easier to see it, right? Because we were definitely sitting on that line and we're definitely above it, right? So I like it. It's good. Nonetheless, where are we immediately? Not in a good place, right? We're definitely look good. Sorry, this 3-day candle, I'm not trying to talk about it. That was the point from the beginning. We've now lost the 8. This is a really ugly MACD, right? You don't need me to say that. You should already know that. This looks like it wants to slant down very hard while the red stays up. Not good. And it kind of seems like the RSI wants to do the same. But again, still a little tight, so hopefully something happens. But yeah, it seems like the 20 is next if something big doesn't happen. And that's a horrible gap down if we lose the 20, right? I'll probably put a line right here just to have one on the DIA. But yeah, if we lose the 20, we're coming here. I could have probably put one here, but in all honesty, I'd rather know if this is lost because that's a decent gap, right? I know it doesn't look like a lot, but again, you shouldn't be moving that much, right? This should be a 0.37 loss, not a 1.37 loss. That's a big number for this bad boy, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's why I put it on this one versus the top of that one, just FYI. But again, not looking good, right? Let's look at the weekly real quick. Again, this one's been the beast, right? So we're still above everything, definitely makes sense. I've talked about the DIA having to cool off, right? I mean, let me actually just go to the DJ30. I just know the 30 well. So we were getting close to my golden lines of trading, right? I mean, it's funny. I feel like I've talked about the death lines far more than these golden lines, right? In the last however long I've been doing these videos, right? Last month, 2 months, right? But we were on the cusp of my golden lines and we couldn't get there, right? And once you're trading above all the lines, you really only have so much to guide you. And that's where I'll put a little more emphasis on my lines, right? But overall, this is a monster rise, and it's hard to sustain something like this, especially in a bad market, which is what we're in, right? So the Dow Jones expectedly was going to cool down, but the hope was that maybe the Russell or something would kind of take over it, because Russell, like I said, looked really bullish before today ended, right? So the fact that this is cooling off is a little bit worrisome, right? I'm going to come to the daily because last thing we want to happen is lose the 200, okay? We cannot lose the 200 on the Dow Jones, because if that happens, we've seen it to a lesser degree on different stocks, right? You can't break. Again, you should see that I'm doing that on the purple line, right? Can't break. Okay, we've broken. Then we're going to come down and either bounce off of it and do well and kind of hopefully come in here, or we're going to lose it. And all it's going to be is actually the first good break before that next one happens. And again, that next one could happen in a while, right? So I wish I could think of a good stock that mirrored that. Again, you know, I do this unedited and I don't know these answers before I make this, right? I'm not here to pretend fool you like I don't know and I magically see something that I don't, right? But I know for a fact I've seen stock. I'm going to take a guess. I swear this one's a guess, but I know Kron was trading over the 200. Okay, no, there's not really that good an example. Yeah, no, not really. Okay, I tried. It happens. Again, though, I'm a little worried across them all, right? And this one, though the volume has been up, again, you can see it, right? I mean, just that's on the, it's a good thing. If this starts to drop, you can rest assured we're going to go back down to this lower level, right? You know, so, and back down to this, right? So be careful across these. As happy as I was on the last video, I'm that much scared on this one. Trade safely out there.